As a software engineer, you are already 70% of the way to becoming an AI engineer, but the final 30% is the most critical. This video gives you the exact 6-month plan to bridge that gap and make the transition in 2026. By the end of this video, you will have a week-by-week roadmap built for engineers, not academics. First, we will reframe the coding skills you already have. Second, we will map out the 3 core AI concepts that actually matter for your career. And finally, I will show you the one portfolio project that gets you hired. But let's deliver value now. The single biggest mistake engineers make is getting stuck in theory, trying to learn complex math first. That is backwards. Your first step in week 1 is to master a single concept: embeddings. Think of embeddings as a way to convert complex data, like words or images, into a numerical representation, like GPS coordinates for meaning. Mastering this one idea is the foundation for everything else, from search systems to recommendation engines, and it is where your journey begins. So now you understand embeddings. You can turn any piece of data into a set of coordinates. The next logical step, in weeks 2 through 4, is mastering vector databases. Think of this as a smart filing cabinet for your embeddings. A traditional database finds exact matches, the word apple. A vector database finds conceptual matches. It uses those meaning coordinates to store apple, orange, and pear close together because they are semantically similar fruits. This is not just a database skill, it is the engine behind every modern recommendation system. It is how Netflix knows what you want to watch next. Mastering this moves you from being a software developer to an AI systems architect. But storing information is only half the battle. Making the AI use that information intelligently is where the real value lies. This brings us to weeks 5 through 8, Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG. Most people think AI just knows things. That is a dangerous assumption in business. RAG fixes this. Imagine a brilliant librarian. When you ask a question, they do not answer from memory. They walk over to that smart filing cabinet, the vector database, pull the 5 most relevant documents, and construct an answer based only on those facts. This simple pattern is the single most important technique in enterprise AI today. Why? Because it kills hallucinations and lets you connect models like GPT-4o to your private company data. While everyone else is focused on prompting, you will be building the systems that make prompts reliable. Now, our AI can read and understand private data. The final leap in weeks 9 through 12 is letting it take action. Welcome to the world of AI agents. This is where AI stops being a passive tool and becomes an active part of your team. Do not think of it as a chatbot. Think of it as a team of digital employees. You give one agent the role of data analyst and connect it to your databases. You give another the role of sales assistant and connect it to your CRM. Your job as an engineer is no longer just to write the code for the tools, but to design the workflows for the agents who use them. This is what separates a $100,000 engineer from a $300,000 one. It is the difference between building an application and orchestrating an autonomous workforce. So in just 3 months, you have built the foundational stack: embeddings to represent data, vector databases to store it, RAG to reason with it, and agents to act on it. This is where most online courses stop, and it is precisely why most engineers who follow them fail to land a top-tier AI job. They have the ingredients, but they do not have a recipe that anyone wants to buy. If you're finding this breakdown valuable, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We post strategic roadmaps like this every single week, focusing on strategy over syntax. In the next 3 months, we move from theory to impact. We are going to build the one portfolio project that cuts through the noise and then re-engineer your career approach to make you inevitable. Months 4 and 5 are about building your proof. This is where you construct your high-impact portfolio project. But here is the critical distinction. You are not building another chatbot. Recruiters have seen 10,000 chatbot clones. They are unimpressive because they do not solve a real business problem. We are going to build an autonomous research system. Imagine a workflow. On the left, a pipeline ingests data, news articles, scientific papers, company reports. It automatically converts them into embeddings and files them away in your vector database. This is not a demo, this is an automated knowledge base. Now picture the core of the system. A user asks a complex question, like summarize the latest advancements in solid-state battery technology and identify the top 3 competing companies. This is where most projects fail. A simple RAG system would just pull a few documents and spit out a generic summary. Your system will be different. It will use an agentic workflow. Visualize two digital employees working together. The first is the research agent. It takes the user's query, breaks it down into 5 sub-questions, and queries the vector database for each one, gathering a comprehensive set of facts. It does not just find information, it strategically collects intelligence. But raw information is messy. This is where the second agent comes in. Call it the synthesis agent. It receives the raw data from the research agent. Its only job is to weave that information into a coherent, well-structured report, complete with citations back to the original documents. This two-step process, strategic retrieval followed by structured synthesis, is what separates a simple demo from a production-ready system. It mirrors how a high-performing human analyst works. This one project demonstrates you can handle data ingestion, advanced retrieval, and complex agentic workflows. It is a solution, not a toy. A company like McKinsey invested heavily to build a similar internal tool for their consultants. You are demonstrating you can build the core of that for a fraction of the cost. With your cornerstone project built, month 5 is about hardening your skills and learning what separates senior AI engineers from the juniors. This is where we focus on production-grade AI. And here is the uncomfortable truth. Your ability to build a cool demo is worthless if it cannot run reliably, securely, and cost-effectively at scale. This is where you master two critical concepts: fine-tuning and LLM operations. First, let's clarify the war between RAG and fine-tuning. Most tutorials treat them as opposing forces. That is a fundamental misunderstanding. They are complementary tools. Think of it this way. RAG is like giving your AI model an open book test. It is fantastic for knowledge that changes frequently. Fine-tuning is like sending the model to school. You train it on a specific dataset to teach it a new skill or a particular style. For your research agent, you might fine-tune a model like Claude 4.5 on hundreds of examples of high-quality financial reports to teach it the specific format and tone of an analyst. A legal tech company recently did this and reduced the time their lawyers spent drafting contracts by an average of 28 minutes per document. That is a specific measurable business outcome. Second, you must learn the basics of LLM operations or LLM ops. This is the single biggest skill gap in the market right now. Imagine a flowchart for deploying a traditional web application. You have code, version control, testing, and deployment. LLM ops is the same, but for AI. Visualize a pipeline where you are not just deploying code, but managing prompt versions, evaluating model outputs for quality, monitoring for bias or drift, and automatically retraining when performance dips. You do not need to be an expert, but you need to understand the principles. Knowing how to use a tool like Langsmith to trace an agent's decisions or Arise AI to monitor for hallucinations puts you in the top 10% of applicants. It proves you are not just an experimenter. You are a builder who can be trusted with mission-critical applications. By the way, I have summarized this entire 6-month roadmap, including the tools and concepts for each stage, into a free, one-page PDF. The link is right at the top of the description. It is a great way to keep this plan in front of you as you work through it. Finally, we arrive at month 6. You have the skills, you have the project, now you need the job. And this is where we challenge the most deeply ingrained career advice. Your resume is not your most valuable asset. Your ability to demonstrate value is. Stop thinking like a job applicant and start thinking like a consultant. First, you need to translate your project into a business outcome. Do not say, built a RAG system with 2 agents. Say, designed and deployed an autonomous research agent that processed a library of 1,000 technical papers and delivered synthesized reports, reducing research time by an estimated 90% compared to manual methods. Numbers are the language of business. A recent analysis of senior AI job postings showed that roles mentioning business impact or KPIs paid, on average, 18% more than purely technical roles. Next, you are going to flip the script on job applications. Instead of shotgunning your resume to 100 companies, you will select 10 target companies. For each one, you will use your new skills to find a problem and propose a solution. Imagine you want to work at a renewable energy company. Use your research agent to analyze their last 2 annual reports and the latest industry news. You might discover they are struggling with supply chain issues for solar panel components. You can then write a cover letter that says, I noticed your CEO mentioned supply chain volatility as a key risk. I have been developing AI systems that can analyze real time shipping data and news feeds to predict disruptions. My portfolio project demonstrates a similar capability. I believe a system like this could provide your logistics team with a 48-hour early warning system for potential delays. You have just transformed from a cost, another salary, into an investment with a clear return. You are no longer asking for a job, you are offering a solution. This is the ultimate pattern interrupt in the hiring process, and it is the final step in your transformation. At the start of this video, I told you that you were already 70% of the way to becoming an AI engineer. That last 30% is not about memorizing algorithms. It is about building systems that create business value. The path is clear, and the opportunity is immense. Your first step is to take this plan off YouTube and make it your own. That one-page PDF I mentioned is linked right at the top of the description. Print it out, put it on your wall, and cross off each step as you complete it. This transition is not just about changing your job title, it is about positioning yourself to lead the next decade of software development. The engineers who follow a strategic plan will be the ones who thrive. If this roadmap gave you clarity, subscribe for more content that focuses on strategy over syntax. We break down the path to becoming an AI leader every single week.